Now some GameStop's trying to get that really generic coming soon things. Why, hello there. It is 154 days until Elden Ring comes out on January 21st, 2022, and this is the Elden Wait. And there has been a new Elden Ring tweet today, which we will cover, and then we will talk a little bit about Gamescom coming up in just 5 days. The Elden Ring tweet this week says, "Grace has been extended to thee, tarnished. Fortune is on thy side." This includes some really nice artwork by at mono7300423 on Twitter, and it is very nice artwork of the Tarnished with the Spirit mount, and it is not the first time that Elden Ring has retweeted some Tarnished artwork from fan art and used that to house their quote. And I have to say, for this one, it is another kind of basic week, and I sort of said as much in my retweet, and Elden Ring actually liked it, so I'd like to believe there is a marketing person out there somewhere who knew that this was sort of a not a very beefy quote, but it is a nice springboard just to refresh ourselves on the Tarnished and just have a little discussion about that. So grace has been extended to the Tarnished, and we know that the Tarnished, their ancestors were from the lands between, and they lost the grace of gold, which manifests as a golden aura in the eyes that faded from their eyes. We're not quite sure of the circumstances at this point, why that happened, if it was random, if it's politically related, what, it's not exactly known. But for whatever reason, the Tarnished lost the grace of gold and were exiled from the lands between. That is the player character's ancestor, and so we have followed in that lineage. It is assumed that the Tarnished had just lived out in the world in the long time since their ancestors were exiled. But now with the shattering, with the Elden Ring being shattered, and the war and infighting occurring in the lands between, the shattering of the Elden Ring has triggered this grace to sort of return to the Tarnished, and for the Tarnished to be called back to the lands between. And this is where we get into the second part of this quote. Fortune is on thy side. So they're being called back to the lands between. So when the shattering happened, the greater will withdrew this grace of gold from the lands between. But at the same time, it sounds like the greater will has restored grace to the Tarnished. So the Tarnished are being favored in this situation, backed up by the greater will, which seems to be, this sort of mysterious godlike entity at this point. So fortune is on thy side, and with that, there's actually mentioned this legend of the Tarnished claiming their Elden Lordship that they were promised. And I don't know exactly where this legend came from, how this fits into the story at this point, if that's a legend in the lands between, if that's passed down by the Tarnished, or what the situation is with that. But apparently it is said, sort of like a chosen undead situation, that the Tarnished will claim an Elden Lordship that they were promised. And that is very interesting to me, and we don't know much about that, but I think that will be important to the whole situation, so I think there's a reason why we don't know much about it right now. But, all of this is saying that fortune is on thy side. Not only is the greater will what restored this grace to you, but also there's a legend saying that you'll get this Elden Lordship. So all these Tarnished are returning, hoping to be the Elden Lord, or they have ulterior motives, as Miyazaki mentioned. So that is basically what there is from this quote that we can sort of talk about from what we already know. And it doesn't really add anything new to the table, but it is nice as we're going into Gamescom to just refresh ourselves on this aspect of the lore. And before we get into the big thing we're talking about, Gamescom coming up in 5 days, I wanted to just pull out something I just got in the mail today. Kind of excited about it. So I got this Game Informer. It features, it's nothing new information, but it does have a little Elden Ring article, which, I'm pretty much getting there because just for collector's reasons. But I also got, which is kind of fun, I got this, which is Famitsu, which also has it has that interview that has been translated. It was one of the interviews to come out after Summer Games Fest. So it's just fun to have this, have some physical pictures. It's a really nice, hefty magazine. But yeah, so I got this because I've been on this collecting spree, and so I sort of wanted to throw out. I have Play Magazine coming, which will come with the subscriber cover, which has an Elden Ring cover on it. Have there been any other like magazines, collectible things? Because I'm just kind of on a roll with this. I don't even know how to like store or present these, but I'm just holding on to them because I don't know. It's how I am, I guess. But I just want to know if there's any other magazines that have featured Elden Ring articles because I want to collect them, basically. Or any other Elden Ring related stuff. I want to be on top of that. Also, it's worth noting that Katakawa, is they publish Famitsu and they own From Software, so. Just in case you weren't aware of that particular connection, Famitsu is a pretty credible magazine anyways, but it is no wonder that From Software games get plenty of love in them. So yeah, any one who knows of any magazines or sort of physical collectible things about Elden Ring, like I've been hitting up some GameStops trying to get that really generic coming soon thing. So if anyone knows, I'm collecting. I'm on the hunt. So lore hunter and collectible hunter. Speaking of collectibles, Gamescom is coming up, and I am really hoping for a collector's edition to be announced. And I'm not sure what else to go with it. Like, I don't know if this would be a new trailer or a recut. Looking at what Bamco has recently done with Tales of Arise, they sort of did a recut trailer and they added on this collector's edition thing at the end. But I think Gamescom is also a great place to get some gameplay footage. So I'm curious to hear what you think will be at Gamescom. I personally am setting my expectations a little low. I think that we will get collector's edition information and a new trailer. How much of it is new, I'm not sure. Maybe it's more of a modified trailer. But maybe we also get gameplay, but that's a lot for me to hope for all at once. And the nice thing now is even if we don't get all of this, Tokyo Game Show is coming up, and the game is 154 days away, so it's not that long. They're going to be showing more stuff because they are going to want to get this information in our hands. So I'd be hoping for gameplay, but that's sort of like the big thing I'd like to see. As far as the collector's edition goes, I'll take anything, to be honest. Like, my dream is like the Lion Castle Lord dude for stuff they've shown so far, just because that guy would be one flippin' awesome figurine statue over here for the collection. I think he would just look weird. I think, it is much more likely that we end up with the Valkyrie. Maybe we get a map, you get your art, little art book, you get your soundtrack, your steelbook cover. I think that would be coming in at about $150 maybe, but who knows? Maybe they will do something like Dark Souls 3 where they have like this like $100 to $200 collector's edition, and then they have this crazy big one. And I do think that Elden Ring will be available at multiple outlets like Amazon, GameStop, whatever your equivalent is for GameStop. And I am also just being on the lookout for the Bandai Namco store because Tales of Arise did have collector's stuff at the Bandai Namco store was sort of an exclusive for them. So I'm just keeping my options open, and I will have all that up going into the opening night live, which will be at, I think it's 2 p.m. EST on the 25th here in just 5 days on Wednesday. So, but I think the collector's edition is the most likely thing we'll see. I think it'll probably be like the Valkyrie or something, just because she is pretty iconic and would still be a very cool statue, even if I would really like that, many armed lion castle dude. And just as a slight side note, also at this time, there's pre-orders going up for a figurine for Maria from Bloodborne, and it's going to be hard to resist. I probably won't resist. It looks awesome. So I just want to throw that out there if you're interested. But lots of collectible stuff. I'm not even a huge collector, but when it comes to From Software, I sort of make an exception. And obviously just going crazy with Elden Ring, but it's fun. I'm having a good time. So, let me know your thoughts about what you think will show up at Gamescom. I think at least we get collector's edition information, a trailer to promote that. At best, we get that plus some sort of gameplay impressions, some new interview, something. But it'll be interesting to see. I was kind of hoping that the Elden Ring Twitter would hint towards something about Gamescom or sort of get some people hyped up, but it was a pretty standard sort of tweet. So, but we, look forward to Wednesday, because I think so we will get something. I'm pretty positive. And at least during Gamescom, which isn't just on the 25th, but sort of over the course of that week. But I do think at ONL we are likely to get some sort of announcement about a collector's edition or something. And I would love some sort of gameplay segment, but if not, then Tokyo Game Show. There's plenty of opportunities coming up. So this has been day 154. You will most likely see me again on Wednesday, which would be day 149. So look forward to that, and I will see you for the next Elden Wait.